Yeah. Right, guys. So we got a good question. How did they meet in the middle? Do we have any suggestions? What do people think? Because the tunnel goes like this. It's not cut in a straight line. How do they meet halfway?
Faith?
Prayer,
Faith, prayer.
singing, trusting God.
So I think the most likely thing is that there was a crack that went all the way through. And somehow they figured out that it connected from all the way up there to all the way down here. But how they knew that that was actually the case is a very good question. Who knows? Who knows? It doesn't say much about it in the Bible. What I want to talk to you about briefly is just the pool of Siloam. You will know it from John chapter 9. That's where Jesus sends a blind man to wash his eyes so that he can see again. Jesus makes a little mud, puts it on his eyes and says, go and wash in the pool of Siloam. Well, that is this pool that we'll walk past in a minute or so. That's down here. It doesn't have any water anymore, but that is the pool of Siloam. And that is where this tunnel of Hezekiah led the water from the Gihon spring. Now, during the Feast of the Tabernacles, and this is why you'll need to remember the valley I pointed out on the picture. You remember that valley of the cheesemakers. So during the Feast of the Tabernacles, the people used to get water from the pool of Siloam, walk up in procession through the valley of the cheesemakers up to the temple, and they would pour out the water in the temple. Sounds like a pretty funny thing, doesn't it? I think it comes from the prophets. There are several prophets who speak of a spring of water from the temple. Prophet Joel, I think it's Prophet Zechariah, and as well as we read yesterday, the prophet Ezekiel speaks of a spring from the temple. And that, in a sense, then it makes it a prophetic act to take water and to pour out in the temple. Well, in John chapter 7, we read about Jesus going to the Feast of Tabernacles, and it says this: on the last and greatest of the day of the festival, Jesus stood and said in a loud voice, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me and drink. Whoever believes in me, as Scripture has said, rivers of living water will flow from within them." By this he meant the Spirit, whom those who believed in him were later to receive. Up to that time, the Spirit had not been given, since Jesus had not yet been glorified. So Jesus takes the opportunity on that day when they would pour out the water in the temple to speak of the living water that he gives to those who believe in him, and that is the Spirit. So it's from the same spring, yeah, but it doesn't anymore give water to the pool of Siloam. Yeah, I don't know if it's been redirected, probably. The pool has not been in use for many years, and it's only fairly recently that they uncovered it. But this is where Jesus would have been. This is where they would have taken water and brought it up to the temple, and that gives you a bit of context for when Jesus speaks of the Spirit on the Feast of the Tabernacle.
Is this the pool right here?
Yeah, you can see the edge of the pool over here. It's not been fully excavated. That is all from me.
Okay, so I completed different side of the story of Eric. The story now in Jerusalem. How we find, all these things. What we doing, just to. Okay, I talk like this. Okay, so when you dig.
Up there?
We're going, we're going to get inside to another tunnel that go up. So the other tunnels that goes up, it's the tunnel that described also in Josephus Flavius. We will see the stairs, the real stairs that lead to the temple. Okay, in the right side, we will see few from the stairs, and the part that we will see the tunnel described in Josephus Flavius' book, that beside the stairs there was a tunnel, and the tunnel used for the people that goes up. If it's raining, you know, in King Herod's time, we think about everything. So if the people climb and there is rain, so the water will go to the tunnels, you know, to the right and to the left. And the people that wash themselves here in the pool, in the Shiloh pool, to clean themselves before they go to the temple, so they will be clean, you know, and it's the high priest go first. And inside the tunnel, we also, just imagine to yourself, I bring some few things, pictures from the finding that they found here in the tunnels. For example, this bell, it's a gold bell that just lately, before maybe 3 years ago, one of the archaeologists find it, and he thinks that it belonged to the high priest, because the only people, the only man that goes with bells on the clothes, the white clothes, he described it very well, since the Bible that the high priest have a special clothes with bells from gold, and maybe it's this. Also, bulls and ancient coin that we have the names of the people from the biblical period time, just mentioned on everything. This is also some of the bulls, and here you can see the ancient, the city of David. So a part of the pool we can see just the half, because the other side of the pool belonged to the Greek church. So in Israel, especially in Jerusalem, there is a lot of land that not belong to the country. It belongs to the Greek, and belong to the Russian, and belong to the Armenian, and many different pieces all over Jerusalem. So it's not allowed, you know, to dig in the other side of the pool, but we have our imagination to see that the pool was there, and all the size is described at Josephus Flavius. Another thing, in Jerusalem, if something happened in your house, if a pipe burst, so you need to bring a plumber, you know, to fix it. So in Jerusalem there is a law. If something like that happens, for example, here in the city of David or in other places, so you call the municipality and you says, I have a problem, and you should not start just when archaeologists sent to the place that you want to fix. Nobody dig, nobody fix, nothing if something happened. So a few years ago, here in the Silwan, in the city of David, one of the Arab women called the municipality and says, I have a problem, my sink is with a lot of water in the tap. So they sent archaeologists. Of course, the archaeologist was very happy, maybe I will find something. And when the plumber start to fix, all the floor collapsed down, and of course the archaeologist was very happy, and he found a few stairs from the stairs that we will see now. Okay, so this is just a part of the stairs, but in Josephus Flavius it's mentioned that the stair was so big, so we will see in the right side some of the stairs. But when we walk in the tunnel, so this was the other side of the stairs. The stairs was so big. We will see some of them in Davidson later, you know, and you need just to imagine, you know, everything, how the people walk up to the temple, yes, and it's really, you know, the stairs that you just see in the right side, there's some of them in the left. This is the real steps that King Herod and even ancient time that the people walk on. So this is it's incredible, you know, to see this place. Yes, and all the time they found a lot of archaeologist stuff, you know, from this area. For example, beside the Davidson, very close to the Western Wall, before 1 year ago, Elat Mazar, the archaeologist, she found a lot of coins, gold coins, and a big coin that remarked the menorah. Oh, look at this cat. Sweet cat. And in one coin, it's mentioned the menorah, the shofar, it's the horn, and the Torah, the book of the Bible, in one coin. So there is no doubt, you know, that the people that climbed to the temple was, you know, some of them businessmen, and some of them bring the payment for the yes. So we can see all the time, we can have more and more artifact to see the whole picture. So it's never finished, because all the time something happened, someone dig, and we found something, you know, different. For example, just now, this month, very close to the tunnel of the Western Wall, one of the archaeologists that worked many years over there, he found a theater, Romans, from the Romans' time, very close to the Western Wall, and beside the theater, ritual bath. So, you know, all the periods time, you know, mixed together. But the theater mentioned in Josephus Flavius that the people, if they will not go to the big theater that King Herod built, you know, beside all the palaces and things like that, so they sit very close to the main cardo, to the main place that all the people over there, and they play music. He described that they play music, and it was a very how you say,
Lively?
לא lovely.
Lively.
Hi, yes. Yes, the place that people feel alive, in a place that everybody get around together. Okay, so we will go and see. First of all, we will look at the right side, the stairs. Just a few minutes.